Good evening once again, whisky lovers. Welcome back to Stuart the Bold Whisky Reviewer's Whisky Reviews, unsurprisingly. And this is review number 3. And as promised, it is going to be a blend this time, rather than a single malt. It's not actually going to be the blend I was originally planning, but it is going to be its sister. Tonight we are going to be looking at Grant's ale conditioned or ale finished blended Scotch whisky. Originally my plan was to review the sherry finished Grant's whisky. That's what I've had in the cupboard for the last couple of weeks, unopened, ready to rock. But I was on my way back home today and stopped in at a supermarket and saw the ale conditioned one was actually on sale. So I haven't had it before. I've had the sherry one several months ago. I had one when it first came out. I've never had the ale, so I thought I would try that instead. And it was on sale. It looked like a pretty good bargain. So I've done a little bit of research about this, and from what I can gather, the ale casks that it spends its finishing period, which I think is about 4 months if I remember rightly, the ale casks are actually provided by a brewery called Innis & Gunn, which pleases me because Innis & Gunn makes some of my favourite beers. Their blonde beer, their toasted oak, and particularly their rum finish beer is absolutely phenomenal. If you like your beers as well and you haven't tried Innis & Gunn, give them a go. They really are good. So anyway, as you may or may not be able to see, unbroken seal, so let's crack into this for the first time. Not a cork, unfortunately, but can't have everything. Healthy wee dram. Always so pleasing to hear that first little glug as it comes out of the bottle. So it's at 40%. It's almost certainly been chill filtered, so it's going to be a bit thinner than the last couple of whiskies that we've reviewed. It is quite a deep gold colour. Very good possibility that there's caramel colouring in there. I haven't bothered to check the ingredients. But most blends put caramel in their whiskies to give it a uniform colour. So on the nose, quite smooth. No bite to this one at all. There's no prickle here. There's a bit of apple, there's a little bit of honey, there's a bit of cream, there's a little bit of maltiness. It's kind of green apples, I would say, rather than red. Very much green apples. No real spiritiness. There's no... oh, I just dribbled some, sorry. Oops, my bad. You watch what I'm doing here, don't I? No real spiritiness. Yeah, apple. That's the first and dominant smell for this one is apple. Something like golden delicious maybe. Anyway, let's try it at natural strength, at bottle strength, which is 40%. Not as tongue coating as you would expect, and there's a bit of apple in there, but it's really creamy. I'm surprised at how creamy this is actually. It's very soft, there's a bit more maltiness on the palate than there is in the nose. There's a real smoothness to this one. Actually, as I said, it's the first time I've had this, and the first taste, there's not a lot of complexity about it. It's quite sweet, but I like that. But it is really creamy. There's a lot of cream, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Slightly caramel, slightly butterscotchy, I think, in there. But what we'll do is we'll add a few drops of water just to open it up a little. Now at 40% it probably doesn't need a lot of water. So I'll put a few drops in there. And as you can see, it's still crystal clear, so that just about confirms it's been chill filtered. That opens up and still appley. A little bit of lime in there. A little bit more citrusy with a bit of water in it. Still nice and sweet. And on the palate, not quite as creamy, bit more citrus, lost the kind of butterscotchy, caramelly, sweet, citrusy, appley. I would say that there is a lot of apple in this. Again, still creamy, but not quite as creamy as it was at normal strength. Bizarrely, there's cream on the nose as well. There's a hint of lime in the background as it sits in the glass. The lime comes and goes for me. It's quite bizarre. There's a depth to this that I wasn't anticipating. I wasn't anticipating lime coming and going. I wasn't anticipating it to be quite as appley. I certainly wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near as creamy as it is. Down it goes. Very easy to drink. Even without water, this is a very easy whiskey to drink. It's the creaminess that makes it so easy. The apple's there still, so it's kind of like caramel apple, creamy caramel apple. Like a, I don't know, I don't want to say like a caramel apple Betty kind of thing with a wee touch of cream in it. But there is apple there, there's hints of lime that come and go, for me anyway. Other people may not get that. But the overwhelming character of this whiskey is the cream. There's not as much, I was expecting it, with it being finished in an ale cask, I was expecting more malt, I was expecting more, I don't know if I was expecting more of a kind of beery character to it. Maybe that's where the creaminess comes from. There's not as much malt there as I was anticipating, but there is much more cream, so maybe the cream is, the cream's how my palate's interpreting the malt. Yeah, creamy. If I had to use one word to describe this whiskey, it would be creamy. Not tongue coating creamy as you get with some non-chill filtered singles, but just a nice light creaminess. Like most kind of budget, if you like, blends, there is almost no finish at all. As soon as you swallowed, A few seconds later the finish is gone. There's nothing there, particularly once you've put a wee drop of water in it. It's gone pretty much as soon as you knock it back. But that's okay. I mean, I paid £14 for this bottle, which is what, I don't know what the current exchange rate is. It's about $22, about €18, something like that. 14 quid is a bargain. It's a keep in the cupboard every day. If you've had a hard day at work, you fancy a dram, you don't particularly want to crack open the expensive single malts, you know what, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with sitting down in front of the telly with a decent book of a night, just having a wee dram of this, a wee nip. So overall marks out of 10, I'm going to give this 7 out of 10. As normal blends go, it's unusual. It's that last 4 months in the ale cask has really given it that creamy character. Confession time, I've never actually had the kind of bog standard Grants, so I don't know if the kind of apple character, the slight hint of lime in there, I don't know if that's a standard characteristic of Grant's whisky. It's certainly in this one. That all works really well together for me anyway. I really like this whisky. I may actually finish this and pour another one, who knows. But anyway, that's it for this whisky review. I will still be reviewing the sherry finished version of this self-same whisky. I'll do that in a couple of weeks. Like I said, I've got the bottle in the cupboard, was planning to do it tonight, but yeah, I saw this and couldn't help myself really. So thank you very much for watching, thank you for your comments, thank you for your feedback. I am trying to condense my videos. I've been told brevity is the soul of wit, so I'm trying to not waffle on quite as much, although I think I've failed again this time, but I'll bear that in mind. But thanks for watching, thanks for the comments, thanks for the feedback, and I will see you soon. Cheers!